So I've noticed that we're revisiting lots of patterns emotionally with people or things that have gone on for them. And when we work with a body, of course, we let the body talk. And the body is going to tell us that we're not fine. But to pinpoint exactly what's going on for you, often, the question, how do you feel? People don't know how to answer that. So spleen energy is when people start craving carbs. I need that quick fix, or I need, to be nurtured with something really heavy, but it's not obviously not nurturing us. There's a beautiful bunch of us going away to really be able to reconnect with ourselves and be able to learn why we abandon ourselves, and how we can never do that again. So holding space to teach people to do that is probably my most favorite thing to do, especially at the moment. Hey guys, it is Mel from Mel Ryan, 100% you, just jumping on for our weekly update. It's been a big week this week in seeing clients. There's a little bit of everything, and I think that is really quite reflective because it's the winter solstice this weekend. With the winter solstice, particularly in Australia, it's the opposite from us than a lot of what you hear on the feeds, that we get, because we are actually doing our longest night and our shortest day. So for us, it's really moving us into that coming back in, reflecting, taking that time, really sorting things out, making things make more sense to us, and really getting structure for moving forward. Now, my retreat is this weekend, and so how perfect that it actually coincides with the winter solstice, because it's exactly that. It's come back to you. It's a come back to your retreat, which is perfect. So I couldn't be more happier to be able to be sharing that space with people this weekend. The solstice in tradition is about that death and rebirth, and when we're coming out of something, it's reframing things for the light to come back in, and that's exactly what we're doing. So this could be you as well over this weekend. There could be a lot going on. Like with the clients I had this week, it's been a little bit of everything. So there's a lot of illness and pain that seems to be coming back. So things that you thought had finished are resurfacing, coming back, like some people with bladder infections, a lot of kidney stuff, a lot of lung stuff. Lung is where we process things emotionally. So if you think about too, when this time of year that we're in, it's like going in to try and make sense of things. That would be why so much lung stuff comes up for us, because it's things that we couldn't process, or things that emotions came in, but we didn't know where to put them. And so they get stuck, or it's the old stuff that we hadn't dealt with that's really coming back to me, just to go, hey, we're doing this pattern again. I want you to become more aware of it. So I've noticed that we're revisiting lots of patterns emotionally with people or things that have gone on for them. Along with that, inflammation seems to be really quite prevalent for a lot of people. So inflammation is, emotionally is when our body is reactive to stuff. There's something's inflaming us, or something's not quite right. It's not sitting right. And as much as we're pretending we're okay, we're actually not okay with it. There's something underlying that's causing a little bit of unrest for us, or a bit of annoyance or frustration or something. And that could be something that's happening with you right now. And again, when we come back to these times of year for us particularly, and with lungs, it's that emotional part. It's bringing in things that we have ignored, that we really didn't want to deal with, but it's pushing us to be able to go, I really want you to take a look at what's going on. So for quite a few people, boundaries have come up this week, thinking that, no, I'm fine, the line, I'm fine, my boundaries are fine, all that. And when we work with a body, of course, we let the body talk. And the body is going to tell us that we're not fine. Mentally we want to be, and we want it not to be a big drama or not to be an issue, but really something underneath isn't sitting right. And it's learning to be able to support ourselves enough to be able to have that voice, or have that boundary, or say how we feel, or even particularly with lungs, and that's emotional stuff. We don't know how we feel. There's stuff going on and we can feel emotional, but to pinpoint exactly what's going on for you, often, the question, how do you feel? People don't know how to answer that. And so this is what this weekend especially is all about. It's space. Make space to be able to just sit in things, let things, come to fruition of what they are, notice things, be able to kind of step back and feel them, see them in a different light. Stop making excuses for people. That's a big one. It's like recognizing that, hey, this thing that is going on is actually really affecting me. And it's being able to see it instead of pretending you're okay. It's going, hey, what does that mean for you? What's going on for you? Because there's a lot of that coming up, and there's all the little suppressed things. That's what's happening at the moment are really popping up, coming to the surface, trying to get some attention off us so we can look at things that we potentially haven't looked at for a long time. Spleen energy is the other one. And so when spleen energy comes up, things are really unsettled. There's a lot of anxiety about the future, things happening underneath, feeling disconnected, like unsure of things. And so it becomes quite chaotic. So spleen energy is when people start craving carbs. I need that quick fix, or I need, to be nurtured with something really heavy, but it's obviously not nurturing us. We crave carbs, we crave sugar. You have one lolly and you eat the packet. This kind of thing. It's people coming going, I don't know what's happening to me. It's like, oh, you're in spleen energy. It's like the chaos, because we're really meant to be looking at something or addressing something, and we're avoiding it. And in that avoidance, of course, we get into this chaotic kind of situation, and our bodies will then reflect it. And then these are the sort of things that happen from that. You also, with spleen energy, you become not just tired, there's a real exhaustion going on underneath things. And so then we, of course, look for more sugar or something to pep us up, and we're in that cycle again. So it's really interesting at the moment. So if any of that feels like you take a step back and give yourself some space this weekend to just be gentle, notice things, notice you, notice how you feel, notice how you're reacting to things, because it's the first way with that we can begin to listen to ourselves. As I said, I'm running my retreat. I come back to you retreat. There's a beautiful bunch of us going away to really be able to reconnect with ourselves and be able to learn why we abandon ourselves, and how we can never do that again. What structure and what we need. And it's really quite fun to be able to unpack your story in such a safe environment, to be able to make sense of all the weird ways of why we do things. And then when you have that clarity, supporting yourself becomes super easy. So holding space to teach people to do that is probably my most favorite thing to do, especially at the moment. So I am really excited to have this weekend away. So I hope you have a beautiful winter solstice, and, put something in a fire, that beautiful connection back to yourself of something you're going to let go of and something that you're going to bring in for you. It's such a beautiful way to honor the change in the cycle for us. And the other exciting thing for anyone in Melbourne is the fact that it will be our shortest day of the year. And so now we start getting lighter. I know it's a long way coming, but we start getting lighter, and that's always exciting for me. So have a beautiful week, and I will talk to you all next week.